What's up, everybody? It is me, Video Person 102, and today we'll be reading chapters 20 through 24 from No by Moongazer527. I think those are the numbers. So here's some context for this next chapter, which is chapter 20. Deceit knows that they're being narrated, and he knows that they're in a story. So if you're wondering what's going on, he knows that there's a fourth wall. I was confused the first time I read it, but it caught on. So, on with what we're reading. Okay, first off, the author is making this chapter shorter because they're lazy, and this is a filler chapter. And second, the fourth wall is non-existent here. Not even Roman's glue will fix this. I am very sorry. Oh, and before the author forgets, this is being written as the story has just passed 5,000 reads and is on the verge of 10,000. They don't want to thank you. So now, more into my story. So far, Virgil and Roman are soulmates, as are Patton and Logan. The first pair were in denial of their affections. It was very amusing to read your comments, until a dragon witch cursed them and Roman died. Then they confessed their feelings. Patton and Logan were just awkwardly adorable and worried. The kids, I knew the oldest would listen to me. Prince is totally not a rebel. I planned for Missy and Pranks to go to that cavern, and I planned for Pranks to get depressed. Because then, Patton will have to move depression. But when he does, I will be there, and... I almost told you my entire plan. You got me monologuing. Roman's the only one to like Disney. My favorite chapter isn't Kaa from The Jungle Book. The author doesn't know what else to write. How about some not interesting facts? Anxiety is right brain. Contrary to popular belief, to take a deep breath, it's okay. I wasn't shocked too. Mortality isn't left brain or right brain, but deep emotions are right brain. Helga Hufflepuff took in anyone who didn't fit in to the other three houses despite their traits. The best liar you know isn't the best liar you know. Nikola Tesla was ace. The author totally has a social life, and they're not obsessed with I can't speak words, and random medical facts. This chapter has everything to do with the plot of the story, which, speaking of the story, there's only 10 chapters left after this. My snake, Salazar, slithered around the corner of our hiding place and informed me that it hurts to have a cat walk on your diaphragm. Wait. Wasn't just the author. He told me Logan and Patton were making their way to the cave. Are you not sure? I asked him. He hissed and nodded. This is not good. They'll throw my whole plan off. I have to slow them down. They're not supposed to go for 9 chapters. I growled and shifted to MG, running out. I see them. Pat, Dad! Low! I yelled as I neared them. Hey, kiddo, what's up? Patton asked. Deceit, he went back to the Mind Palace. I lied. Are you sure, MG? Logan said. I didn't think he would be stupid enough to try so soon. Ouch. Okay, Logic. I hope the author puts you through something awful. Regardless, I nodded, adding some crocodile tears into the mix. Pun not intended. Oh, kiddo, it'll be okay. Patton hugged me. I almost flinched from the sudden movement. His hugs weren't warm and comforting. They left me for the Mind Palace, and I silently cursed the author. But everything won't turn out okay in the end. No. Before we go on, I just want to say how fun it is to voice Deceit. Like, I may not sound like the best person. In fact, I probably sound like shit. But, like, I love voicing him. Okay, on with the story. Oh, day 5, Virgil's point of view. Just so you know, Virgil's point of view. Point of view is important in this book. There's a lot of point of views. Trigger warning cursing. Pat and Logan had left about an hour ago. So, what do? Play Mario Kart. Missy was sitting on Prank's lap. MG returned from the imagination and was sitting on the floor, and I was laying across Princey's legs. Prinks, the dragon Roman sculpted, sat on the coffee table in the middle of the room. So far, I was in first, Prinks second, Missy third, and in last place was Roman. MG wasn't playing, but he cheered us on. After the third Grand Prix, Roman had enough of coming in last place. "Why do I always lose?" he yelled. "Maybe because you're always fighting dragon witches," I mumbled. "Oh, shots fired," Prinks exclaimed while Missy laughed. Roman pouted at me. I looked up at him with a smirk. "Oh, it's okay, Ro. I'm sure you'll win someday, just not against me." "Well, at least I get to defeat a dragon witch," he countered. "Only if I save your ass from getting fried first," I snarled back. "I said I love you first." "I kissed you first." "There was a mutual kiss," Roman complained, "and also, I couldn't move, so..." "Yeah, well..." "Guys," Pranks interrupted, "we get it. You're hopelessly in love." "That I am," Roman said before capturing my lips with his. "They're kissing again. Do we have to hear the kissing parts?" MG groaned. Pranks and Missy just laughed and shared a kiss of their own. "No, not you too," MG protested. Roman and I broke away from the kiss. "I love you," I said. He smirked. "I love you too." "Can you guys get back to playing, please?" MG asked. "Actually, I think I'm done for playing today, Squirt," I said, tossing the controller over to him. "You play. I'll watch." The youngest eyes lit up. "Thanks, V." I hummed in response and laid back, closing my eyes. I started drifting off to sounds of the others' voices in the game. A little while later, I felt someone running their fingers through my hair, making me even drowsier than before. I leaned into their touch, smiling. It was at that moment my stomach decided to mimic a dying whale. I heard Princey chuckle, and I blushed, covering my face with my arms. "You hungry, Verge?" Roman asked. I nodded. Roman picked me up and carried me to the kitchen. He set me down at the table, then walked away to find some food. A minute later, he came back with a turkey and cheese sandwich and chips. "You're the best, Ro," I said, taking a bite of the sandwich. Suddenly, Penn threw the door open, looking livid. I jumped and fell back, landing hard on the ground. "Where's Deceit?" he yelled. "Patton, calm down," Logan commanded, putting his hands on the other's shoulders. Patton took a deep breath and nodded. Logan then pulled the moral trait into a gentle hug. Dad?" Frank asked. Are you good?" "I was wondering the same thing," Roman said, helping me up from the floor. "You mentioned that reptilian rascal?" Roman's point of view. I held Virgil as Logan launched into an explanation. "We were going to investigate the black wall from the cave we ran into, who we thought was MG. That must have been the real Deceit." Logan sighed before continuing. "He told us Deceit was here. I can't believe I let myself be tricked like that." "We've all been tricked by him," Virgil muttered quietly. A thick silence descended over the room. Virgil leaned into me. I pressed a kiss to his forehead, and he buried his face into my neck. "Logan?" Patton whispered. What are we gonna do? Deceit's not gonna let us go near. And I can't just..." Logan comforted Patton as he sobbed into the logical straight shirt. Missy got up and wrapped his arms around the two of them. Imogen was next, hugging Missy and Logan's legs, as he was too short to actually hug them. Then Prince got up and joined the growing group hug. Of course, Virgil and I threw our arms around them too. The hug was warm and comforting. Eventually, though, we all broke away. "Thanks, you guys," Patton sniffed. "I love you guys. You know that?" Virgil smirked softly. "We know you do, Dad." Patton squealed and pulled the black-clad trait into a tight, loving hug. "I love my dark, strange son." "Okay, Patton, I need to breathe," Virgil gasped. Patton giggled and released the other. "Okay. He wants fettuccine Alfredo." "That sounds excellent, Padre," I said, taking a seat back at the table. Virgil followed soon after. Then Logan. The kids turned back to their games while Patton cooked. And soon after everyone retired for the night, the kids went to their room. Logan and Patton went to Patton's room, and Virgil and I went to my room to cuddle. "Hey, Ro," Virgil yawned as Moana ended. "Can you sing me something?" "Of course, mi amor." I gave him a short kiss. He smirked and closed his eyes, snuggling onto me. I wrapped my arms around him and started to sing. "You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when the skies are gray. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. The other night, dear, as I lay sleeping, I dreamt I held you in my arms. When I awoke, dear, I was mistaken. I hung my head and cried. I'll always love you and make you happy if you will only do the same. But if you leave me to love another, you'll regret it all someday. You once told me you really loved me, that no one else could come between. But now you've left me and love another. You shattered all my dreams. Virgil hugged me tighter. "I'd never leave you." I chuckled and kissed his forehead. "I know." And I know, 'cause you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when the skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. I looked down to see Virgil fast asleep. No nightmares, no signs of distrust. No. Okay, so for this chapter, it is in Virgil's point of view, and there are trigger warnings of panic attack, blood, stabbing, and an implied eating disorder. It was dark, like dark, the kind of dark that seems to stretch on forever and suffocates you at the same time. And the sounds are frightening and screaming and laughter. It sent tremors through my body. I tried to cover my ears, but I couldn't move. I felt a sharp pain and looked down. A sword was stabbed into my stomach, deep, warm red blood through my shirt, making it heavy and sticky. I looked up again and I couldn't see anything. A bluish-green glow came from seemingly everywhere, but my focus was on Roman, holding the hilt of his sword that was buried deep into my stomach. "Verge! Verge!" I screamed and held hard onto the floor. I could still feel the sword pierce through me. Suddenly, Roman was there. Roman stabbed me. Roman hurt me. He was gonna hurt me. "Hey, Virgil, calm down. You're having a panic attack," he said. "Breathe, Virgil. You need to breathe." He's going to hurt me. He's going to hurt me. "Verge, no one's going to hurt you. Breathe, Verge." "I can't breathe. He's too close. I can't breathe. I can't." Hey, Verge! Verge! Everything went black. When I came to, the first thing I noticed was that I was in my room. The second thing I noticed that I was alone. I slowly sat up, rubbing my stiff muscles. Me every morning during band camp. It's in parentheses. It's an author's note. I checked the time to see that it was almost midday. My door creaked open. I looked up and saw Patton standing there, his worried features quickly replaced with relief when he saw me. Hey, Verge. How you feeling? He asked. Better than this morning, I replied, attempting to stand, but Patton rushed over and pushed me back into bed. No, kiddo, Patton started. You're staying in bed for a while longer. I pouted, but I need to talk to Roman about my attack. Why? Patton questioned. What happened? I had a nightmare and just... Pat, please, I begged. Patton sighed. Okay, kiddo, I'll send him in. I said in relief. Thank you. Patton ruffled my hair and left. Moments later, Roman burst through the door. Virgil, what happened? Are you okay? Do you need anything? He asked, peppering my face with kisses. I giggled and grabbed his hand. Ro, I'm fine. Are you sure? Yeah, Ro. What caused it? Roman asked. Your attack. I looked down at my hands, but stayed silent. Verge? He brought his hand to my cheek, lifting my head to meet his eyes. I sighed. I had a nightmare. I paused. Verge? Roman said, wiping away a stray tear. You stabbed me, and when I woke up, I couldn't feel, and I closed my eyes as a sob escaped my throat. Verge, I could never hurt you. I felt him press a kiss to my lips, immediately kissed him back, reaching up to hold his hand that was resting on my cheek. He deepened the kiss and licked the bottom for entrance, which I granted. I let his tongue explore to taste the strawberries and cigarettes filling my mouth. I don't know when my head hit the pillow, but when we broke apart for air, Roman was hovering over me. We were breathing hard, trying to make up for the lack of oxygen earlier. Time stood still as I stared into his eyes. We were about to recapture each other's lips when the door swung open. Missy stood in the doorway, a deep blush creeping across her face. Lunch is ready, he stammered, quickly shutting the door. Roman let out a shaky breath, kissing me once more before standing. I held my arms out to him, not really wanting to walk all the way to the kitchen. Roman sighed, but picked me up anyway. I wrapped my arms around his neck and snuggled into him. Who knew you were such a cuddler, Verge? Roman smirked. Shut up, Princey, I said, smirking and rolling my eyes. You know you love me, sunshine. Yeah, I do. I leaned up and kissed his cheek. I laid my head on his shoulder as he carried me down the hall. I heard Patton squeak quite loudly when we walked into the kitchen. You two are adorable, he said, sitting on the counter. Hold still, Logan scolded, cleaning up a cut on Patton's forehead. Whoa, what happened? I asked. Logan sighed, pursing his lips. Someone let a cat into the Mime Palace, and Patton tried to pet it. But he hit his head on the table. Oh, Logie, it was so cute and fluffy and adorable and cute, and I'm running out of things to say, Patton gushed. I held back a snort. Logie? Roman sat down, still holding me in his lap. You know, you don't have to hold me, Ro. I know, he smirked. So you gonna let me go? No. I smiled and set my head on his shoulder. You're an idiot. Hey! But you're my idiot, I finished, kissing him. Okay, enough flirting, Patton said, now sporting a blue puppy paw band-aid. Eat your pizza. Patton walked off to eat when Logan on the couch. I picked up my slice and took a bite. It was a Chicago-style deep dish pizza, so it wasn't very easy to bite into, but man, it was delicious. I was halfway finished with my slice when I noticed that Roman hasn't even taken a bite of his. You okay, Ro? I asked. Oh yeah, I'm fine, Verge. I'm just not that hungry right now, Roman said with a smile. But there was something that seemed off. Roman never really liked pizza to begin with, but he always ate a slice to make Patton happy. Thinking back on it now, he never did really get to eat anything after this one slice of pizza, and sometimes he doesn't even eat everything on his plate. Could Roman? No, it's just overthinking this. No. Day 6. Roman's POV. Virgil seemed worried and spaced out. I placed my chin on his shoulder and poked his side. Verge, I said in a teasing voice. He jumped, swatting my hands away. The English trait huffed. Don't touch my sides! I simply wrapped my arms around his middle and smirked into his neck. He chuckled and set his head on top of mine. You're acting really cuddly today, Virgil pondered. What did you do? I scoffed in a mock hurt. Does there have to be a reason to hug my boyfriend? Virgil's face went bright red. I frowned. Virg? No, you just... He smirked lightly. You've just never called me your boyfriend before. I blinked. Really? Then maybe I should, because you are my cute. I kissed his hair. Adorable. I kissed his forehead. Handsome. I kissed his nose. Boyfriend. I captured his lips. He giggled, but the moment his gaze landed on my unfinished pizza, he smiled, slipped away. Oh, did he figure it out? Ro? Oh no. Are you okay? I smiled. Of course, Verge. Then why aren't you eating? My face fell. I can't eat. What should I do? I don't want to lie to him, but the truth is just so bad. Ro? I have bulimia. Bulimia? Virgil asked. I nodded. It's a type of eating disorder. And there's actually a description for it. For those who are curious, bulimia is classified as binge eating, then taking measures to make up for it. Example, purging, throwing up on purpose, and starving. Back to the story. I closed my eyes, expecting something harsh, him yelling at me for being so stupid or something, but instead, I felt him press a gentle kiss to my lips. Roman, Virgil said, I love you. Tears fell from his eyes as he pulled me into a hug. I love you so goddamn much. I hugged him back, also crying. He was so warm and safe. His fingers started curdling through my hair. He was messing it up, but that's not really the point. Ro? Virgil asked. Did you eat breakfast? I hesitated. No. Virgil sighed and held me even tighter. I know you don't like pizza, he said, but do you think you could eat something else? Maybe just a little. Virgil smiled and kissed my forehead. I'll take it. He stood up and walked over to the fridge, pulling out different foods and drinks. He searched for a while before pulling me out a plastic Tupperware and putting the contents on a plate, placing in the microwave soon after. Verge tapped his fingers on the counter, waiting for a timer to beep. Soon, a plate of steaming hot spaghetti and meatballs was set in front of me. I looked at Verge, who was sitting on the table and silently begging him not to make me eat it all. He seemed to understand, sighing and telling me at least eat all the meatballs and a few bites of spaghetti. I picked up my fork and stabbed the first 3 meatballs. The second followed after I managed to choke down the first. Then the third. Finally, I was down to just the pasta. I managed about 5 bites before I couldn't get any more down. I set my fork down. I could already feel my body rejecting the food. I was going to have to purge all of what I just ate. Virgil just smiled, unaware of what I was thinking. I smiled back weakly. He didn't say anything while he took the half-eaten plate away. Hey, Ro? Vert asked. Do you want to watch a movie? Of course, love, I answered. Just let me go to the bathroom real quick. Can you get it set up for me while I'm in there? Sure, Virgil nodded. And, Ro, I'm really proud of you. I smiled and nodded, making my way to the bathroom. Once in there, I locked the door and knelt in front of the toilet, shoving my fingers down the back of my throat. I perched until there was nothing left in my stomach. By the end of it, my throat burned and I was breathing hard. I rinsed my mouth out with mouthwash and drank a bit of water, then quickly fixed my hair and clothes so I at least looked presentable. I made my way out to the commons, where Verge was waiting to play Descendants 2, Return to the Isle. I sat down next to him and wrapped my arms around his shoulders, pulling him closer and throwing a blanket over us. Virgil reached over and hit play on the remote. Now, before we start the next part, called me an uncultured swine, but I've never watched Descendants or Descendants 2, so I do not know the actual song, but I'll make up, notes as I go. Back to the story. I started to sing along with the music while Virgil just hummed along with me. We have all the ways to be W-I-C-K-E-D. Oh my god, my life's a lie. What's my name? What's my name? Is that Uma? Who names their child Uma? Chillin' like a villain. Help me. I didn't know what you were going through, Virgil sang. I thought that you were fine. What did you have to hide? I didn't want to let you down, but the truth is out. It's tearing me apart. Now listen to my heart. I played with the song. I really had to go, and I would never stop you. Even though it changed, nothing has to change. Is most of this the song? I can't sing. And you can find me in a space between the two worlds. Come to meet, I'll never be out of reach, 'cause you're a part of me. So you can find me in the space between. You'll never be alone, no matter where you go. Can always meet in the space between. We sang in unison. Nothing can stay the same. It's growing pain. I started. Be proud of all the scars that make you who you are, Virgil sang. I know you have to stay, but I'll never really leave you. Nothing has to change, even though it's changed. We sang together. And you can find me in space between, where two worlds come to meet. I'll never be out of reach, 'cause you're part of me. So you can find me in the space between. You'll never be alone, no matter where you go. We can always meet in the space between. There are no words left to say, I sang. I know you gotta find your place, but this is not the end. You're a part of who I am. Even if we're worlds apart, you're still in my heart. It'll always be you and me, yeah. We were in unison again. You can find me in the space between, Verge sang, where two worlds come to meet. Unison. I'll never be out of reach. Verge. I'll never be out of reach. No. Me. 'Cause you're part of me, so you can find me in the space between. Together. You'll never be alone. Verge was smiling now. No matter where you go. I was too. We can meet in the space between, we finished together, and nothing will ever be as great as him, even if we have to meet in space between. But if I had to choose, I would choose to be a world away. No. I hope you liked this last segment. I'm sorry I don't know the song and I don't have time to learn it. Or at least, like, the song part. I'm sorry this was so bad. We still have a chapter to go, so I'm so sorry. I paced softly around the cave I was currently hiding in. Salazar followed me with his head from where he lay coiled up on the outcrop of the rock. Tomorrow is the day my plan truly springs into action. But tomorrow has 4 chapters. I sighed. It's a burden not knowing things the others don't. Isn't that right, reader? Well, since you can really tell the others, I guess I won't tell you my little plan. I know how to release all of Thomas's depression, and I can control it to an extent. I can use that as a leverage to have me take the foreground and have more of a say in Thomas's decision-making. After all, I'm not part of him as well. All I have to do is get them here and show them they have a choice, but hand over control to me. Salazar slid silently off his perch, slithering out of the cave to the open field outside. He's probably not going hunting. Salazar is constantly eating. He eats most of the rodents in the mindscape. I can hardly remember the last time I ate, other than the cookie almost a week ago. But this is neither here nor there. A problem for another book. Salazar appears again, gulping down the tail of a rat. The author hasn't told me they have a tag book and a flash fiction book now. Salazar coils back up on his perch, hissing at me that there's a guest outside. MG's POV. Wouldn't it be funny if the author of the story about someone who didn't actually believe in soulmates? Like, they believed in feeling true love for different people at different times, but the thought of being destined to love one another in real life just sounds weird. Where did that little rant come from? Anyway, I wonder where Deceit went off to. All I know is that grown-ups don't want me around him. I don't understand because he's so nice to me, Missy, and Pranks. I stood down next to a small cave with some pretty yellow flowers next to it. I picked some and tried to make a flower crown like Roro taught me to, but it kept falling apart. MG, what a displeasure to see you. I looked up at the small voice and smiled. DC! I ran up to him and gave him a hug. It's so nice to see you too. Desi smiled softly and looked down at my messy flower crown. What are you destroying? I shrugged and picked up flowers. I was trying to make a flower crown like Roro taught me, but I can't get it right. That's not fine, Desi said. You won't get it eventually. He picked a flower that was more gold than yellow and put it behind my ear. I giggled and picked the brightest yellow flower and put it in a silk band of his hat. I turned back to the flower crown, trying to fix it. Desi helped me, putting out a flower that was loose and tucking it back in every so often. Also, the flowers never seemed to run out. Desi! I giggled. Are you using your powers to make more flowers grow? His face turned pink, and he turned away. No. I giggled more. That means yes, 'cause you always lie. Desi suddenly looked sad. What's wrong, Desi? It's everything, he sighed. I wish I did have to lie none of the time. I can't even tell the truth to lie. Oh, I said, looking at our flower crown. So because everyone knows that you lie, they know you mean the opposite, so telling the truth would be lying for you, but you can't tell the truth, right? Desi nodded. Wrong. I'm sorry, Desi. I hugged him. Do be sorry, he said, hugging me back. It's not my job. If it's your job, then why do the others not like you? I asked. His eyes darkened. I haven't done bad things to not get my point across. I gulped. Like what? I told the truth to Patton so he would show up in a video. Then I didn't pretend to be Patton and told Thomas to tell a truth to Joan, Deceit explained. It wasn't the only way to get them to listen to me. What if Joan wasn't so mean? Or they didn't yell at us? Or continue being our friend? Deceit's point of view. Deceit, you're starting to sound like V, MG said. I smiled. I don't lie based off of what others are feeling. Like if Patton's happy, then I tell Thomas nothing is okay. So if V is anxious, what do you lie about? Most times, I don't help blow things out of proportion. Most times, I tell Thomas it's not fine. I tell MG. Okay, he said, looking up at the sky. I should probably go back to the Mind Palace now. He stands up and grabs the flower crown, holding it for a second before smiling and putting it on my head. Bye, Deceit! MG yells back and runs off. Hello, MG, I say back. I smiled after him. I don't have a spot soft for the youngest kid. No. Okay, that is the end of the story. If you want to hear more like this, check out my channel for more Wattpad Read Alouds, or wait till the end card where a playlist of all my Wattpad Read Alouds will pop up. Hit subscribe and click that bell if you want to be notified when the next one comes out next week. Be sure to check out my merch store, link in the description below. And, like always, do not do your best. Gasp, sigh, snick noises.